take the doll out of the crib, he's crying, right? Because he doesn't want to take a nap. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why won't you shut up? Why won't you shut up?
The woman sitting with a helpless look is Adrian Vetter, a babysitter suspected of murdering 10-month-old Sean S.J. Mitchell at her own daycare. S.J. died from 2 catastrophic brain bleeds after being violently slammed against a wooden crib and later against a wall.
There was so much bleeding back behind of his eyes because his eyes were so heavily damaged they couldn't even see the optic nerve, the nerve that controls the eyes.
Now the detectives are about to determine whether Adrian was truly an innocent caregiver or a killer hiding in plain sight.
And being 100% honest with you, I would never, ever, ever hurt baby SJ.
The tragedy unfolded on June 5, 2023, when 10-month-old Sean S.J. Christopher Mitchell was placed under the care of 22-year-old Adrian Vetter at her daycare in Wichita Falls, Texas. Unlike many infants, S.J. exhibited crankiness and agitation that day, but S.J.'s parents couldn't have imagined that their beloved infant would pay with his life. On the fateful day, Adrian frantically dialed 911, claiming she had found S.J. unresponsive. At first, she told the operators that S.J. had seized and fallen, resulting in the immediate deployment of the emergency personnel. Upon arrival, the responders rushed S.J. to the hospital, where he would fight to survive for 18 agonizing days. On June 23, 2023, S.J.'s life ended at Cook Children's Medical Center, succumbing to critical head trauma. Forensic reports implicated Adrian, resulting in her apprehension as the principal suspect on June 5, 2023, the day the emergency responders raced S.J. to the hospital. What subsequently followed was a web of contradictions that further deepened Adrian's guilt.
Have you been told of S.J.'s condition or anything?
His mom told me he had a brain bleed, and I was really concerned on how, because it still doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Nothing makes sense at all. I know what happened. I saw what happened. I saw, but I didn't saw. Like I was there all day. I didn't step outside. I didn't leave. Like, it was literally impossible for SJ to physically something like
Hitting his head, throwing a fit or anything, just one time?
Just one time.
Okay. That's one thing I was going to go over with you. I got some medical records from the kid.
Okay.
I talked to the ER doctor. By the time I got there, the kid was already being taken to the airport with mom. They're flying him out. But there was some concerns because he actually had 2 subdural hematomas on both sides of his brain, which is brain bleeds on the left side and the right side.
Right.
And the locations of the brain bleeds are noted, and there was quite a big concern with the doctor as far as what his medical evaluation of SJ was. They're pretty soft, meaning if they fall from 2 or 3 foot, chances of them having a severe injury are pretty low.
Right.
And you even said he had a soft spot on the back of his head and top of his head.
Yes, sir.
To me, that doesn't necessarily add up with if he threw his head back and he's 10 months old. Granted, I've not seen the kid. I don't know how big he could be. A little Hulkster. I don't know. But you would know him better than I would. I wouldn't think, just common knowledge based off of what my training and everything, I don't know that I would expect him to have 2 brain bleeds, one on either side of his brain,
Right,
just from him throwing his head back, having a tantrum. You know what I mean? Do you have any kind of anger problems or short temper, short fuse, anything?
No, sir.
No?
I'm on meds for everything.
So what are you on medication for, if you don't mind me asking?
Depression, anxiety. I have bipolar 1, PTSD, but I'm on meds, so like
Right.
I'm very.
Got it pretty under control.
Yes, sir. Electrolyte, hydroxyzine, and Boost Bar.
And the Boost Bar's for the anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got it pretty well under control, you
Yes,
think?
sir. I put myself on meds to better myself for my daughter, and I'm probably the best version of Adrian you could possibly meet. If you would have talked to me 2 years ago, you wouldn't have liked her.
Okay. I understand. Everybody's different. The doctor told me he was kind of concerned because the type of injuries that SJ had was pretty common with shaken baby syndrome, which is kind of why we got called out.
Right.
And anytime a kid gets care flighted out of here to Cooks for something that seems simple but doesn't match up, that's why we get brought in, just to make sure we have all of our T's crossed, all of our I's dotted.
I completely understand.
Is there any cameras other than the baby the baby monitor that you have in the bedroom? Is there any other cameras within the living room or anything?
Nope, I don't have any cameras on the inside.
Okay.
I have a camera by my front door, and I have a camera by my back door, so I can see who's driving past my house at all times.
What kind of cameras do you have? Is it like a doorbell camera or
no? They're like light bulb cameras, so it looks like a light bulb, but it's really not. It's a camera.
Is it through a specific service or?
I ordered them off of Amazon. It's just this little app.
Okay, so Bluetooth to your phone,
yes,
essentially, or Wi-Fi rather.
Yes,
Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Do you have anything to add that I may not have asked about?
I just want to know if he's okay. I know he's probably not. I'm still concerned myself on literally everything that happened, but I love SJ as my own, and I'm a mom. I don't even put my hands on my own kid. I like swat her hand if she does something she's not supposed to, but I don't. It breaks my heart when I even get onto my own daughter.
Right.
So I don't even like seeing SJ cry. Like, it breaks my heart. I'm just like, I don't know what to do because I'm not mommy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only so much Auntie Adrian can do because Mommy's not there.
I gotcha. Do you want to see who's the guy that's out there?
My husband,
Your husband? What's his name?
Mason Tony.
Adrian, acting like the most conscious and caring babysitter, is quite ironic. As per her phone records, she was busy arguing with her husband a few hours prior to SJ's death. This reveals an inadequacy in her attentiveness toward the baby. The brutality unfolded around 3 p.m. when Adrian noticed SJ was unusually uncooperative. Enraged by his persistent crying and refusal to nap, Adrian grabbed SJ and slammed his head against her daughter's crib. But she didn't stop there. In a violent continuation of her anger, she proceeded to bash his head again against the wall. As SJ became unresponsive after such harrowing trauma, Adrian made the noble decision of informing Felicity, SJ's mother, and the emergency services. Additionally, the findings from the forensic analysis challenge Adrian's self-portrayal as a morally righteous person. SJ's medical report highlights severe trauma from fractured neck and brain bleeds from continuous violence. Seeing Adrian not wanting to open up about everything, the detective decides to conduct a search at her house, and after collecting more evidence, Adrian gets called for another interrogation during the follow-up phase. This is when the investigator compels Adrian to recount her side of the events, one that emphasizes a chilling trail of repeated torment.
And so you laid him down where?
In my daughter's bed.
In Sawyer's crib?
Yes.
Or just on the floor?
In Sawyer's crib.
In Sawyer's crib, okay. Is there anything in that crib?
I mean, just a pillow and sheets.
A pillow and sheets? Okay. How was he acting when you put him in the crib? You said he was fussy?
Yeah, he was fussy. I gave him a pappy. Sorry, I call him pappies, but
Pacifier?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave him a pappy because he recently started using it, and his mom said if he ever is way too fussy, give him his pappy. If he doesn't want it, put on Trolls. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Is there a TV in Sawyer's room?
No, I'm working on it, though.
Okay.
It would be nice to have a TV on.
How long did he sleep on Monday? You said you put him in there about 11:30? Mm-hmm. How long did he sleep for on Monday?
It was a 3-hour nap, so...
A 3-hour nap?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he was still asleep when my husband came home from his lunch break.
Okay.
So I want to say my husband went...
How long was Mason at home for his lunch break?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Like 30 minutes, I did.
Okay. So SJ took a 3-hour nap. You put him in his crib at 11:30. What time did he wake up from his nap?
Around 2:33.
Around 2:30, 3 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did, when Mason came home for lunch, was he taking a nap?
No.
What time did Mason come home for lunch?
Around 1:30, 1:40.
So you put SJ in the crib at 11:30. Mason came home at 12:30 or 1 o'clock? Or did you say 1 o'clock or 1:30?
1 o'clock.
He came home at 1 o'clock, and you said SJ was not sleeping?
SJ was sleeping.
He was sleeping?
Yes.
Okay. Mason was only there for 30 minutes. Did Mason have any interactions with SJ when he came home for lunch on Monday?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So what time would you say that SJ woke up on Monday?
Around 1:32.
Around 1:30 to 2? Okay. I'm just making sure. That's all. I'm just making sure I'm not leaving any details out. 1:30. And then how did he wake up? How did you notice he woke up?
He was literally just laying in his bed and he stood up and just hanged, like was holding the crib, like he was literally fine.
Okay.
Like nothing out of the normal, no crying, no nothing. Like at one point in the day he was sleeping on my chest, like everything was fine.
And those are the photos that you sent to Felicity, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had mentioned before that Felicity had told you that you don't have to send her updates and photos and text messages about SJ
Yes, sir.
all the time. Do you remember when that conversation took place? And was it a voice conversation like on the phone, or was it a text message, Snapchat, Instagram, anything different?
It was on Snapchat.
It was on Snapchat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm assuming you saw him on the baby monitor, stand up in the crib.
Yes.
Did you go and pick him up?
I did. I went to pick him up and we went to the living room and Sawyer was already playing with blocks, so me and her sat down and started playing with the blocks with him.
Okay. How many blocks would you say were in the living room floor? A lot?
A lot.
Like more than 10?
I brought the whole bucket and tipped it upside down.
The whole bucket?
The whole bucket.
How many would you ballpark? You don't have to be exact, but how many blocks would you ballpark say that were in the bucket that you dumped all over the living room floor?
35.
35? Okay.
Because it's a really big pack.
And is it those big oversized Legos?
Yeah, like
The
yes.
toddler Legos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So quite a few.
Yes.
Okay. And you said when you brought in SJ to the living room and put him on the floor, your daughter Sawyer was playing with the blocks already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Walk me through what happened after that. Did you get down on the floor and play with them? Did you go do something else? Were they playing together?
No. I went to go sit down on the floor with them and play the blocks with them and like show them like, look, you can do this and all this stuff with it. They had no interest in it. They wanted to put it in their mouth and chew it.
Right.
But I mean, it was fine. He was literally fine, detective.
Okay. So we're talking about now probably 2:30 time frame. When you guys are playing, how long would you say y'all played in the living room floor with the blocks?
Not very long, honestly, because that's when everything, like I turned around, went to go get Philly a bottle, and, well, not Philly, just a bottle,
SJ.
and that's when everything went wrong. But there was no Legos behind them, nothing. It was just a really big thud on the ground, and I was like, okay. And then I ran over to SJ and noticed that he was.
So was he crying before you heard the thud?
Yes, he was. He was throwing a fit because I went to pick him up and I had to go make him a bottle.
Okay. Does he normally take bottles, or is he getting old enough to where he takes like sippy cups or a regular cup, or?
It's a hit and miss, to be honest.
Okay.
So, when she's at her mom's house, Aunt Philly will give him his bottle for nighttime, but at my house, I only give him sippy cups.
Okay.
Although Adrian cooperatively gives a description of all the events, she is not being truthful. Adrian says that she was playing with SJ using toddler blocks, but when the emergency responders arrived at her residence, they found no such toy. Moreover, Adrian was already worked up from her argument with her husband while caring for SJ. Adrian also admits she shares a tight bond with SJ's mother, Felicity Dishman, also known as Philly. Case files determine that Felicity entrusted SJ to Adrian's supervision for 2 weeks leading up to the tragic incident. While Felicity was aware of Adrian's explosive rage, she asserted she'd never witnessed it directed toward the children. Yet, this claimed closeness didn't prevent Adrian from savagely mistreating Felicity's own son. It's sickening to see Adrian grasp for sympathy by weaponizing her daughter Sawyer. But little does she know that evidence speaks louder than any lie. The forensic reports showed that SJ's cause of injuries was shaken baby syndrome, including bilateral subdural hematomas. Shaken baby syndrome is a fatal condition that leads to a baby's death if he or she is handled violently, whereas bilateral subdural hematoma indicates blood clots formed on both hemispheres of the brain, trapped between the dura mater and arachnoid membrane. Furthermore, Adrian mentioning the use of blocks when there weren't any shows that she is deliberately trying to distort the timeline of events leading up to SJ's death. To dismantle Adrian's tower of evasion, the detectives will pressure her to reenact the mistreatment.
Going back to SJ on Monday afternoon, did you call 911 first, or did you call Philly first?
I called Philly first and I said, hey, I need you to hurry and get to my house now. And I didn't have enough time to keep talking, so I hung up on her and I called 911. And the 911 people, they got to my house before Felicity did.
Okay. What was the conversation with Felicity on the phone? You said you told her to hurry up and get to your house. What were you telling her?
I was telling her to hurry up and get to the house because it was about SJ.
Okay. What'd you tell her about SJ?
I said, I don't know, bro. He's not breathing. His lips are turning purple. And then, she drops everything and barks, just runs to her car. Okay.
And you said you did CPR and you talked Monday about the 2 fingers. If I go grab a doll real quick, can you show me how you held him and how you did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me grab a doll right quick. And that way I'll get us a better understanding. Okay.
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
When you said there was blocks in the living room, was it just the floor? Did you put
I don't have carpet, so it is all hardwood floor.
Okay, so but you didn't put a blanket or anything down, or a play mat? So it's just the blocks?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you always put him there?
Yeah, that's how I always
so
do.
Never a rug or a blanket under him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is a doll that we use. It's actually pretty life-size. I mean, it's not the standard size for a baby, okay? So I'll hand this to you. If you can show me how he was sitting on the floor, if you want to use this desk right here, because they'll probably better here, use this desk. Show me how he was sitting on the floor in the living room, and then how he fell back. So you're sitting up?
Yeah, he was sitting up just like this, and then all of a sudden he just fell backwards.
Okay.
And then I ran to him, stopped with everything I was doing, and then ran to him, started doing CPR, and I just...
Was he flat on the ground? Were you holding him? Anything flat on the ground just like this?
Yes.
Okay. So how were you... Where was your body compared to his? Were you at the feet? Were you next to him?
I was hovering over him.
Okay. And what were you doing as far as CPR? Were you doing mouth? Were you doing the mouth?
No, I don't have one of those things that cover up the mouth. I only know how to do CPR.
Okay. And demonstrate how you were doing CPR. 2 fingers in the center of the chest?
Yes.
How long did you do that for?
I sing the song Staying Alive until I'm done singing it.
Which is what they train you in CPR classes. Okay.
So it's about 2 30 minutes long, maybe 3 minutes long.
Okay. Anything else that you can remember being on the floor with SJ?
No, sir. I I really don't. He was just... I turned him on his side, and I got all the saliva out of his mouth and stuff. But
did he have a lot of saliva in his mouth?
it was a lot. I even looked at his tongue and everything. He didn't bite his tongue.
Okay.
So it was just a very hard night that night.
Right. I understand. I appreciate that. going back to what I was saying earlier about me being pretty laid back, I'm an understanding parent. She's an understanding parent. She's probably more understanding than I am. Every parent has their flaws. Every parent gets tired of their children at one point. Every parent gets frustrated with their children at one point. I know on Monday you told me that you think of SJ as your own child. Because you guys are pretty close, right? And you refer to yourself as your aunt and SJ as your nephew. Even though that's not the case, that's how close you are to him, right? So, from what I understand, he was fussy on Saturday, he was fussy on Sunday. Was he pretty fussy on Monday?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Not as bad as it was on Sunday.
Okay. So Sunday was pretty bad, fussy? Okay. So, it would be understandable as a parent. Now, if I weren't a parent, I wouldn't understand. But like I said, all three of us in this room right now are parents. It's pretty understandable to maybe lose your temper or to get onto your kids if they won't stop crying, if they won't stop getting into something, if they are not listening. That's understandable, right? Okay. If SJ is crying and being fussy and he's fighting his naps and he's not cooperating, I can understand how a parent would be pretty frustrated, if not lose their temper a little bit. Does this sound familiar? I mean, is that something that may have happened?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
It seems like Adrian's creativity to make up stories will never end. Her reenactment of SJ getting hurt is not remotely close to what actually happened. As already stated, as soon as Adrian found SJ to be non-compliant in taking naps, she forcefully struck his head at the side of a wooden crib. Moreover, right after committing this monstrous act, she took SJ out of his crib, carried him to the hallway, and hit his head again against a wall. So, there was no chance for him, a defenseless 10-month-old, to slip on his back and hit his head and sustain such harrowing injuries. So to accelerate the interrogation, the investigator is going to unleash another bombshell, the graphic medical documentation to make Adrian crack.
We spoke to a doctor. Her name is Dr. Peeler. She's the pediatrician that specializes in children's care, child, that kind of thing. We told her exactly what was said that had happened, that he had a seizure, fell back, went unresponsive, because that's what you told us. They gave me a report Tuesday, and then they gave me a follow-up report yesterday. Says that the impression, which is the what they've discovered on SJ, was abusive head trauma and suspected child physical. He's got bilateral subdural hemorrhaging, which is brain bleeds on both sides of his head, more so on the left. He had a bruise on the right side of his head. He had a bruise on the middle part of his back. He had pinpointed spots on his right arm. Seizure-like activity, which continued. I mean, he was having seizures while we were there on Tuesday. He's got intracranial hemorrhages and seizures. He became unresponsive at the babysitter's home. At this time, this finding is most consistent with trauma. They fell backward from a seated position would not explain this significant brain injury. In absence of medical condition or traumatic explanation, findings are very worrisome for abusive head trauma and child physical. So, again, they said that they couldn't rule out, at the time, medical conditions. So I brought that up. Talked to her. Hey, could this have possibly been a brain aneurysm? Could this have been a grand mal seizure? She was like, we don't know. We can't rule that out, but it's very, very unlikely that that is the cause. Then I get a bunch of we get photos. I'll actually put the photos right here. So this is him in the bed. That's his head. There's some bruising right here on the right side of the head. These are all the sensors that are placed on his head to prevent from him having major seizures. Okay? These are little pinpoint impressions on his right arm, his upper right arm. This is the bruising, about the middle to lower of his back. To me, it looked like linear bruising, like a little. And she even has a little measuring. This little bruise up top is about 3 inches. This bottom one is about 6 inches. Okay. She then sent me a follow-up report yesterday because I was worried about little SJ, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened to him and if he's going to live or die. And she's very concerned as well. She then sent me some more investigation or some more follow-up paperwork. His cervical spine is pretty damaged. He's got a high neck sprain. His C3, 4, 5, and 6 are pretty damaged. The ophthalmology report, ophthalmology has to do with your eyes, your orbits. They were able to complete an MRI of his eyes. They said there were so many intra, pre, and subretinal hemorrhages, there were too many to count. They could not see his optic nerves on the MRIs due to so many retinal hemorrhages. You know what that means? There was so much bleeding back behind of his eyes because his eyes were so heavily damaged, they couldn't even see the optic nerve, the nerve that controls the eyes. That's pretty remarkable. That's pretty concerning. That's very concerning. That's concerning. There's so much pressure on his head that his eyes are, he can't even move his eyes. I mean, they're forced straight down, basically into his nasal cavity. He's got a high neck sprain. Like I said, I talked to Dr. Peeler. Basically, there's no way in hell, and they've proven it. And she's a medical professional. She's a doctor that this is her expertise. There's no way on God's green earth these injuries that SJ has been given is from him having a little minor seizure and falling backwards and hitting his head on that little wooden linoleum floor.
Hearing the investigator read out SJ's injuries, Adrian definitely understands that her mind games won't last long. To top it off, Adrian's glaring silence shows that she's about to cave at any moment. This is when the detective changes his approach to a more aggressive one.
Is it possible, again, I'm not judging you. Everybody has problems, okay? Is it possible that him and Sawyer were giving you such a hard time Monday, whether he was crying, whether he was throwing blocks, whether Sawyer was crying, throwing blocks, you were having one of these parental moments, and you possibly lost your or got a little over-tempered?
No, sir.
I need you to be 100% completely honest with me.
I am being 100% honest with you. I would never, ever, ever hurt baby SJ.
Okay.
And whenever I was getting updates on him, my heart broke.
I want you to understand this, okay? I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to talk down on you. I need you to understand the stories that you have given us are complete.
But they're not
I'm telling you, the medical records, his injuries, the stories that we have been told by you, by Mason, are complete. I want you to do the right thing for SJ. Help me understand what exactly happened in your house. Because if I keep getting lied to, I can't say what the future is going to hold. It's already out all over social media. They only know what they're being told by the media. Okay? Help me understand for you and give a voice for you, and especially give a voice for SJ. I don't want you to lie and then something bad happen in the future And everybody out in the city of Wichita Falls and whoever can see Facebook or social media wants your head on a plaque on the wall because they think you killed a 10-month-old. Help me understand what happened. Maybe I can help explain it. This is a mom taking care of 2 young kids. She's got mental health issues. She's doing her best to stay afloat. She's doing her best to take care of her own daughter. She's trying to get inflow of income. She's got a husband. He's busting his every day 8 to 5. She's doing the best that she possibly can do for what the life she has been given and what she's going through herself. You understand what I'm saying? I want just to know the simple truth so I can be a voice for you.
Maybe I did get a little over upset on Monday, but
Okay, you said maybe you did get a little upset on Monday.
Maybe I did get a little upset, and I was already butt freaking tired because Sawyer just wasn't listening. And
okay, it's understandable. It's not wrong to get upset at kids.
I know it's wrong for what I did. So,
help me understand what happened. Walk me through. You said maybe you got a little upset. Walk me through what happened.
Whenever I was laying him down, I laid him down, gave him his passy, and it would be a constant game of going back in there, giving him his passy, back in there, and go back and giving him his fussy. And then, I don't know, he woke up, they were doing fine, and I guess I might have hit his head on, like, the crib, or the wall, or the ground, maybe.
Okay, I don't want you to guess. Okay, I don't want you to guess. Because when you start guessing, you're not telling the truth. I don't want to paint you as a liar. I want to paint you as a damn good mother that is doing the best that she can with what she's got. Okay? Tell me, I just want you to tell me exactly what happened. Help me understand what you were going through whenever SJ is having a fit. Whatever happened in the bedroom, whatever happened in the living room, I want you to be completely honest with me. Okay?
Well, the beginning of that day, me and my husband were supposed to have a wedding, but then he wanted to cancel it, so that's that.
Why did he want to cancel it?
Because we don't have the money right now.
Okay.
I hit his head on the crib, and I hit his head on the wall.
Okay, so using this doll, you said you hit his head on the crib and hit his head on the wall. And we're talking about SJ, correct? Now, did this happen in the living room or Sawyer's bedroom? Sawyer's room? Okay. Oh, well, there's a wall right there next to you. Well, pretend this is SJ. Show me in your own words what happened.
The detective now implements the read technique, a systematic interrogation tactic that methodically applies emotional pressure until the suspect reveals the truth. Adrian realizes that her stories and manipulation won't work any longer. That's when she is about to have no option but to come clean.
Something like that. I can't. It's a little research.
I mean, SJ's probably, 30-something pounds? He's pretty big little kid, right?
He is. He's really heavy.
Okay. So it's understandable. Listen to me. Look at me. It's understandable you probably lost. You're dealing with 2 kids. You've got enough on your plate as a single, or as a mother. You're not single. You have enough on your plate. You've already got drama with Mason. That kind of ups the ante a little bit. You're frustrated because you're trying to marry the guy that you love. Right? Now you've got a 1.5-year-old daughter. Now you've got a screaming 10-month-old kid that won't shut the hell up. He's driving you up the wall. Nobody is going to blame you. Okay? People lose their...
I don't miss my shit. I'm just trying to just deal with it.
It's stressful. Having kids is stressful. I will be the first to tell you. Having more than one is very stressful. Especially when it's just you by yourself. And you're young. You're what, 20? 22? That's a lot of stress on a 22-year-old woman that already has a 1.5-year-old daughter. Now is having to take responsibility for a 10-month-old kid that's not even hers, that is crying, won't shut the hell up. Now you're having these mental issues start taking an effect. That's a lot on your plate, Adrian. So how many times would you say you hit his head on the wall?
Just once, and on the crib just once. And then whenever he fell backwards, throwing a fit in the living room, and that's when everything went wrong.
Okay, so let's use this table. Say this is the inside of the crib, this is the rail of the crib.
Like that.
Was it harder?
It was hard. Not really, no.
Okay. Because the doctors that we spoke to, they said this is very indicative of shaken baby syndrome.
Yes.
Were you here? Do you want me to tell you what my theory is? And will you tell me if I'm right or wrong? Okay. Let me see the doll. Okay. You take the doll out of the crib. He's crying, right? Because he doesn't want to take a nap. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why won't you shut up? Why won't you shut up? You're frustrated.
I would never shake SJ though. I was frustrated 100,000%. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying you did. That's just my theory.
Right.
Because I understand you had a lot on your plate.
Right, I understand, but I would never ever shake SJ like that. Maybe I might bump his head on the wall or something like that, or kind of get over a little stimulated and stuff.
Okay. So I know he's a little heavy, but I know you're frustrated. And I appreciate you for being honest with me. I really do. That will go a long way. You're still walking out of here. Okay? Because we still have a lot of follow-ups to do.
Well, I just wanted to spend the most time with my husband.
All you want to do is what?
Just spend time with my husband as much as I can.
Okay.
Because I don't have my daughter anymore.
Where's your daughter?
Her grandparents' house.
Her grandparents' house?
Yeah, they won't let me come up there and see her.
How did that take place?
My sister texted me saying she wanted to move out and told me that she told Mason it don't matter, and then my mom and dad don't really talk to me anymore, and then now they're most definitely not going to talk to me.
Now why did Ashley move out?
I don't know. She didn't talk to me all day the day before, so I don't know.
Why do your grandparents have your daughter then?
Mason thought it was a good idea to give her to him in case anything does happen.
But Mason's not the child's father. Can you just tell me the name? I'm not going to go track him down. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same people here. Is it Winston?
No, I promise.
Why don't you tell me his name?
Because if I tell you, then I might get charged with something else.
You're not going to get charged. He's not even involved. I just want to know the family tree. That's all I'm concerned about. How everybody was related. I don't give a about the child's father. I just want to know, just for my knowledge.
Do you know who Isai Torres is?
Isai Torres? Doesn't ring a bell. Should it?
He's in and out of jail a lot.
What's he in and out of jail for?
Controlled substance or weed.
So he's just a drug user.
Yeah.
So, like I said, nobody's perfect. Everybody has their flaws.
Another bizarre thing about Adrian's confession is her denial of violently shaking SJ. She knows that phony tears won't erase what she did to this infant, yet she still chooses not to be completely truthful. Thus, being dissatisfied with Adrian's half-baked truth, the detective is about to go over the evidence again.
Back to SJ. How many times, honestly, take a minute, think back to when he was giving you a hard time in the bedroom. How many times that his head hit the crib, and how many times did his head hit the wall?
He never hits his head on the wall.
No, but you.
Yeah, I did that, but whenever he's sleeping and he starts rolling, he'll hit his head on the back of the wall. But I only hit his head on the crib once.
You only hit his head on the crib once?
Yes.
Okay. What about the wall?
Not in the same room. It would be in the living room area because that's where my daughter was.
Okay.
But can you refresh my replay the question?
Well, let me kind of stop. Have you taken anything other than your meds today?
So,
Okay. How many times and where did you hit SJ's head on the wall? Let me kind of stop you. You said that you hit SJ's head on the crib in Sawyer's room.
Yeah.
On Sawyer's crib. Now, where did the head contacting the wall take place?
we went to the living room because Sawyer wanted to watch a movie, and I knew SJ would watch a movie too, so I put on Trolls for them, and that's really it.
Okay. Where you didn't bring up the incident about him hitting the wall?
I mean, there was a little hallway outside of Sawyer's bedroom, so I want to say this wall.
Okay. Now hold the doll like that's SJ and show me how you. I know you kind of showed me here, but how are you holding him and how did he hit his head? Okay. How many times did that happen?
Only once.
Okay. Were you screaming at him? Was he screaming?
He was screaming.
He was screaming? You weren't screaming at him or anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these injuries were not caused from shaken baby syndrome like everybody else is telling us. These injuries, and you're telling us these injuries are caused by you hitting his head on the crib and you hitting his head on the wall.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else you're leaving out? Because I don't want to paint you as a liar. I want to paint you as being fully cooperative, 100% truthful. That way I can kind of help explain things for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so you're saying one time on the crib, one time on the wall.
Yes, sir.
And let me see the doll? And so basically you said you were holding him like this, and then you like threw his head into the wall?
Well, that's kind of a baby doll, so his head didn't sling back like
Right,
that.
but you said you basically
Yes.
like that?
Yes, sir.
Or did you like pile drive him? Did you?
No, I had him like that.
Okay, so at the time, was he screaming?
Yes and no. He was like trying to breathe for air and stuff.
He was trying to breathe for air, and that's when you thumped him threw him against the wall?
Yes, but that was before I even called my mom.
Okay, and that happened in the hallway outside of Sawyer's bedroom? Okay, so now that I've got an understanding, because I figured there was something that happened, were there any blocks on the living room floor?
It was
Okay,
because Sawyer was playing in there, and then after everything happened, I called my husband. Then he came home and he just started picking things up.
okay. Did you tell him exactly what had happened?
I did.
You told him about thumping his head against the wall?
No, I haven't told him.
Okay. You just told him the story that you told us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after you hit his head on the crib, you hit his head on the wall in the hallway. Now walk me into the living room. What was he doing while you were holding him? What transpired after that?
He had his head here, and we were just sitting down and we were watching Trolls, and then he kept on trying to get to my daughter Sawyer, so I set him down to play blocks with her, and he starts just crying hysterically. And I was just telling him, I'll be right back, I'll be right back, it's okay, I just need to give you some milk. And then I didn't hear no crying, so then I stopped everything what I was doing. I turned around and I saw SJ was on the floor.
Okay. So at that point, did you realize, oh, I f***ed up?
Yes, sir.
Like maybe I went a little too far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just to clarify, the story that you told us on Monday night is not the story that happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did Sawyer see this happen?
Not really, no, sir. She was there when I was doing CPR and SJ.
Okay. Sawyer was crying in the bedroom. Was he crying after you hit his head on the crib?
SJ, no.
Or, I'm sorry, SJ. I think I said Sawyer, sorry.
Okay.
SJ.
SJ is... No. I don't think SJ... Yeah, no, it wouldn't be Sawyer, it would have to be SJ.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about SJ. We're not talking about Sawyer here. We're talking about SJ. When you picked up SJ out of the crib because he was crying and throwing a fit, when you hit his head on the crib, did he continue to cry?
No, sorry.
No. So did he stop crying automatically?
No, he was still kind of like whining in a way because he was hungry.
Adrian again gets back to her inconsistent timelines, proving that she actually has no remorse for what she did. This also links us to the instance where Adrian claims to have done CPR, yet the so-called auntie didn't do a mouth-to-mouth just because she didn't have a mouth guard on. All this shows that an evil person like Adrian shouldn't even be near the shadow of a child. Given the monstrous nature of this infant's death, one conclusion becomes undeniable. Adrian must remain behind bars for a prolonged period. Adrian was indicted for first-degree murder and was sentenced to 50 years in prison with a bond set at $1 million on April 15, 2024. She was sentenced after pleading guilty to SJ's killing 3 days earlier. She's required to serve at least 25 years in prison before being eligible for parole.